All right. Okay, so I guess I should grab my phone for a second too. I want to use this as an example here. Okay, so everybody has one of these things, right? Some type of a handheld device. Okay. Imagine how incredible this device is, because we could do just about anything we want from this device right now. Take pictures, call someone, text somebody, and what else can we do? We can buy something from it. We can book a vacation. You could talk to your therapist, your psychiatrist. You could talk to your family member in a different part of the world. I always think that's so fascinating how, because, you know, and I've been down here in Miami now for 20-something years, and Miami's so diverse, how nowadays, and I remember the days of having to go to a bodega to get a phone card so that you can call, an international phone card, so you can call, you know, your home country or something like that. And nowadays you just hop in on WhatsApp or on FaceTime, and now you're calling into another country. And I used to travel quite a bit. I covered 22 countries way back when, and the phones weren't really readily available back then, but I couldn't speak to my kids because of that. I couldn't see their faces. And now it's so easy. You could be anywhere in the world, and because of your device, you can see everything and everybody, right? So that device is pretty amazing. And one thing that happens is we look at that device to help us run our lives, but also buy things, okay? So let's talk about this process. So how does the process start? If you're looking to market something, okay, what is your goal? If you're a marketer, if you have a product or a service, and I'm going to interchange those two words, product and service. We're going to talk about marketing in general. You could fill in the blanks on either or. What's the first thing you need to know if you're marketing a product or service? What do you need to have?
A solution for competence.
I like that. A solution. Confidence?
Competence.
Competence is good, yeah. But a solution to what?
To a problem.
To a problem, right. So, and that's where something starts, right? Marketing is sort of finding a solution to a problem or filling a need, right? We heard of that? How do we fill a need? Because I need something and you fill it. So that's where marketing comes in. You have to have a problem and you solve it. That's the idea. So what happens then? So here we are. I'm gonna draw over here if that's okay. Here we are, we're the marketer, right? And we have an answer to a problem, or we're solving a need. So what does that mean? Well, that means the consumer is over here looking for something, right? They have a problem or they have a need. So they're out there looking for something. Now, what connects these two? How do they look? When you have a problem, when you have a need, what do? What's the first thing you do?
You go to internet.
You go online, right? You go to your phone, wherever it is, and now you start searching for it, right? Okay. So hopefully, as a marketer, you have the answer to that problem or need. What does that mean? What is between us and the consumer? When you search for something, what do you see? What comes up?
Different solutions.
Different solutions? Define that. What are you seeing? Like, you're seeing ads. What else?
Videos.
Videos. What else? Blogs, right? Pictures of products. You're seeing reviews. You're seeing influences. Okay. We call all of that, I'm going to make a triangle here. We call all of that content. Okay? That's all content. So content comes in a lot of ways, a lot of shapes. You can have content in videos, audio, ads, reviews, blogs, images. That's all content. So I like to think that there is what we call a content pyramid. A pyramid meaning there's three really important parts to that content. The first one I'm going to put up here, it's videos. How many people have a TikTok channel? Are we on TikTok yet? Everybody should be on TikTok, right? Okay. So how many hours a day do you spend looking at TikTok videos? You're smiling, so it's over an hour. I know that, right? So the average is between an hour and 45 minutes on TikTok. Now I'm guilty. I probably spend at least 30 minutes TikTok. What about YouTube? How many watch YouTube? Right? Okay, how many hours do you spend on YouTube a day? None? A lot? I end my night watching at least 30 to 45 minutes of YouTube. And it's all kinds of different things. I go down that YouTube rabbit hole, so it's all kinds of different things, right? And YouTube has these algorithms that will take you down that rabbit hole. So we are watching these videos. That video content is driving that engagement. That's what's really driving that engagement. So that has to be on top of that pyramid. The other piece of that is, this is not really happening yet, but it will be happening soon. Audio. Why? Who's using Siri to find things on their phone right now? Anybody? You are? Anybody using Alexa or Google Home to find things? Okay. Right now, we're typing things in. We're searching for things by typing. In the not too distant future, in fact, I would probably say in less than, this is 24, I would say by the time we get to 2030, we're probably not going to be typing any searching in at all. All we're going to be doing is, find me Professor Ken's digital marketing class, and here it comes. That's all. We're going to be speaking what we want. How many people talk to their cars to find them places, find them a restaurant, to find them directions, right? That's happening right now. We're just beginning that whole process. We're just beginning the whole process. So audio is going to be a big part of what we do in the not too distant future. So the next part of that is what we know traditionally, right? Let's call that images. Let's call that what we call here in marketing called copy. That's the words that we put on paper. Now, the words that we put on paper is important. I'm going to put words here, but when it comes to the internet, there's something more than words. It's called a keyword. What's a keyword? What do you think a keyword is?
Like important words that will guide
Searchable.
Will guide like the search engine.
Okay, words that will guide the search engine, that's all good.
But it could be a phrase, right?
It could be a phrase. It could be a phrase. Keywords, yeah, you can use keyword phrase or keyword. It's searchable, but more importantly, what is it saying?
They found you.
They're finding you. How do they find you? Because you're putting words in there that Google says, oh, you want a digital marketing class? Well, Professor Ken has a digital marketing class. My content has the word digital marketing in it, and I'll show you this when we look at things in that content, my images, my videos. So when you punch in, I like to take a digital marketing class, the odds of me coming up are stronger because of the fact that I have that keyword in there, that digital marketing class is in there, right? That's how it works. So there are algorithms to Google. It could be very complicated, but basically at the simple level, Google is only going to serve up what someone is looking for. They're looking for intent. Why does somebody want the digital marketing class? Because when you look for something, you're not looking for a digital marketing class. Maybe you're looking for a digital marketing class to help you with business, right? So maybe it's Professor Ken's digital marketing class that will help you for business. And Google will help serve that content up to you. We'll look at that online here in just a few. Okay, so keywords, that's what that copy comes in. So every word that you write, everything that you put on a post, on a blog, on a web page, has to be tied to keywords so Google can help locate you. The more you put out there, the more Google will see and recognize you and say, hey, this must be important because Professor Ken's talking about it, so he's a recognized expert in the area, so that comes up. That's how Google is really working the algorithms. Okay, so now, I have a problem, I have a need as a consumer. What do? I go online and I start searching for whatever my is. Let's say I need a pair of red sneakers because I am running in a red sneaker marathon. Who owns red sneakers here, right? Anybody? All right, I don't own red sneakers. So I need a pair because I want to participate in this marathon. So I say, I need a pair of red sneakers. Professor Ken sells red sneakers on his sneaker shop. So if I'm smart here, I have content that focuses on red sneakers. So when you search for it, that content comes up. And now I find it. Now I find that content, right? So now what happens when I'm searching for something? There's a process that we go through. So marketing is a combination of art and science. Marketing is a combination of art and science. Who here feels like they're more creative, more artistic? They like art more. Anybody like art more? No? Who likes science more? Are we more science? You gotta have one. Pick one, only pick one. Do you like science or do you like art? Which one is it? Art, everyone leans to art, okay. Well, so we need to balance that. We need to balance that. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a scientist. When I say science, we talk about analytics in marketing, behavior. Everything we do is behavior. I can predict, there are predictive analysis I can conduct that will predict your behavior as a consumer. And that's the data that we get. That's the analytics that we see, right? So you need that balance of art and science. That's what that's gonna help here. So now, what do? We go online and we look for something, right? And I'm looking for red sneakers for my red sneaker marathon. Okay, what do I see? I look up content. What do I see? I start looking at the content that comes up. Maybe I look at what? Reviews, right? I look at price, would you say? Do I look at shipping time to find out how quickly I can get them? Yeah? Do I look at the return policy? If I can return them if they don't fit? Do I look at that? Right? Do I look at the company's website to see if the company is legit or not? Right? If it's not like a name brand type of thing. What else do I look at? What other information am I looking for?
That the website has a secure in the URL.
An SSL, right? So when they're gonna take my money and run, that type of thing. Okay, good. So when I talk about science and behavior, the marketing behavior is this. There is a buying process that we all go through. And this is the same buying process for everything we do. You buy a car, you're gonna go through this process. You buy a house, you're gonna go through this process. If you go to the vending machine right here, you're gonna go through this process. So what's the process? The first part of the process is, you start off with saying, I have a problem. I recognize that I need something, right? That's where the process begins. Okay. The second part of the process is now you have to go out and you have to do your research. You have to figure out, how can I solve my problem? You do that normally online. So you go through that. The third part of that process is now you evaluate all those options that are being thrown in front of you. And you're looking at reviews, you're looking at price, you're looking at shipping, you're looking at all those options. And then what do? Then you make a decision. So you actually make a purchase. We call that conversion. We call that conversion. And I'll explain a conversion chart to you here in a second. Conversion, so now you buy something. So now, who's bought something recently? Anybody bought something online recently?
Yep.
Right? You? What did you buy online? What was your name? I'm sorry.
Sarah.
Sarah, what did you buy online, Sarah?
Clothes.
Clothes, okay. So you went through more or less this process, right? You needed something, you found something, you said, no, a little different? What did you do?
I just went online to shop.
You went online to shop. So, but you needed something.
I didn't need anything.
You didn't need anything. Oh, wow. So you just bought for the sake. You just buy for the sake of buying, and then you returned it. Oh, but that was my next question. So, okay. So you bought it, and then you got the product, right? Okay, then you opened it up. You didn't like it. Okay, great. So that's good. So now, what can happen? There are three things that can happen when you buy something. Three things, right? The first thing is neutral. I get the red sneakers. I put them on. They fit. Tie them. I go to the red sneaker marathon. Run my marathon, come back, have a beer with my friends afterwards, blah, blah, blah. And I throw my red sneakers in the closet and I never see them again, ever again, right? Because I never use them again. I just bought them for that marathon. Unless I run again the year after and I use them again. So neutral, nothing happens. I got them. Now Sarah brought up something. What else could happen? Well,
Return.
Right. It can have a negative experience. I can't believe I spent $50 on these red sneakers. I mean, they look like plastic. They looks like the glue is falling apart. They don't fit right. The laces are horrible. I can't even put them on my foot. I can't believe I wasted $50, and I would give them -1 star if I can give them -1 star, and I'm going to return the product, right? Now, the opposite of that could happen too. That positive experience. Oh my God, I can't believe I only paid $50 for these red sneakers. They're the best sneakers I had in my entire life. They feel like real leather. They're glued really good. The laces are perfectly fit. They fit me perfectly. I think I ran a lot faster because I had these red sneakers on, and everybody should buy them, and I can't wait to wear them again. In fact, I'm gonna wear them on Fridays, well, casual Fridays when I wear my jeans, because they're gonna look so good. 5 stars. So that's what can happen. Now, when we think about that, what do we want to happen if we're in e-commerce, if we're online? What do we want to happen? We want the positive, right? Because what is our goal? Our goal always is to convert. Our goal is always to convert, but not one time. We can high five each other if we get 1 sale. That's a good thing. But it's the 2nd sale, it's the 3rd sale, it's the 5th sale. That's when you start making a business. That's when you start building a brand, building a business, is after that 3rd, 4th. We call that retention. We call that repeat business, okay? And there's a concept that you should learn. It's called CLV. Anybody hear of that yet? CLV? Okay, CLV is customer lifetime value. Customer lifetime value. So what does that mean? Well, let me ask you this question. Who has a favorite brand here? Anybody have favorite brands? What do you have, favorite brand?
Nike.
Nike? Okay, that's the sneaker preference, the shoe preference. Okay, how many pair do you own, plus or minus?
Like 20.
At least 20, okay, perfect. Would you buy any other sneaker outside of Nike?
I do, yeah.
Occasionally, okay, perfect. So how much do you spend a year on Nike? Let's say $200. Easy, right? Okay, perfect. Who has another favorite brand? What do you have?
Is it makeup brand?
Yeah? Which one?
Beauty.
Which one?
Rare Beauty.
Okay, and it's your favorite brand. You buy any other makeup?
I try not to.
You try not to spend what? $200 a year, let's say?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just leave it at $200 a year. Okay, perfect. How long have you been buying that makeup brand?
2 years.
2 years. How long do you think you will continue to buy it?
My whole life.
Your whole life. Do you expect to live another 30 years, 50 years, 70 years? Let's give you 50. Okay, we'll give it just a simple math. Okay, so you're spending $200 a year, right? And let's assume you buy it again for 50 years. Who has a calculator? What number is that? Is that 10 grand?
10 grand.
Okay, perfect. $10,000, right? That doesn't sound like a lot, only because you're buying it. But if they have 500,000 of that type of customer, that number starts to add up, right? They had 1 million of that customer, that starts to add up. Same thing with Nike. Of course, you know Nike has millions of people like you who buy it. That's why. Who's on Amazon right now? Anybody on Amazon? By Amazon Prime? Anybody do Amazon Prime? So Amazon Prime's been around, what, 15 years? And I think it's $15 a month now or something like that. And it comes with the free next day delivery and all that stuff. Okay. So does anybody, if you're on Amazon, can you think of a time when you won't be on Amazon? Not really, right? So you'll be on Amazon for as long as the possible future can hold, basically, as long as they're in business. So now they've got this customer lifetime value. So all these brands have customers for life. They need you to come back over and over and over again. And it all starts with this first problem, right? It all starts with that first problem, that first need. You got to keep people in there. You got to get retention. And there's something we call the marketing funnel, which I'll share with you here in a couple minutes. That's how we manage this whole process. Okay, so what happens here? So we wake up one morning, we have a problem, we have a need. We go onto our phone, we start searching for something, we look for content, the content comes up, and the marketer has marketing that's out there, and we see the content. So basically, we search reviews, we search pricing, we search shipping, all those things look good. We buy the product, either three things, one of three things could happen. Normally, most of the time, neutral, nothing happens, but we want the positive case. And if the negative case comes up, then we get negative reviews, which is not good for growing our business. We need them to be positive so we can grow the business. That's going to be the key, because if we get more positives, then we turn into a customer for a longer period of time. That creates customer lifetime value. So every brand that's out there today, every big brand, every e-commerce company starts with their first sale somewhere. Starts with this whole process. And that's what everything is all about. It's this very simple process here of having a problem, finding a need, and filling it, okay? All right, any questions on this? Now, that buying process, think about that, because that's what everybody really does right now, is that whole. All right, so we talked about starting up, trying to fill a need. If you had a product, trying to fill a need. Who remembers what the marketing mix is? Anybody remember what the marketing mix is? Marketing mix?
Yeah.
What is it?
That is the 4 P's.
4 P's, right. That's good. 4 P's. Now, who could tell me what the 4 P's are? Product. Place. Place.
Price.
Price. I'm going to put price down here. What else?
Promotion.
And promotion. Perfect. Okay, good. 4 P's. That's the marketing mix. So, everything we do online ties to this marketing mix, ties to these 4 P's. You have to have a product, and product and service are interchangeable. You have to have a place to sell it. Right now, it's mostly online, of course, right? That's the physical place on where you're selling the product. You have to have promotions, how we're promoting it, and you have to have a price. You can't sell anything unless you have a price. Okay, now let's unpack this a little bit just so we can explain some of the nuances behind this. A product should always be different, should always be unique. If you shop on Amazon, you punch in whatever product it is that you're looking for, what normally comes up? You have a bunch of the same type of products that come up, right? But what do you start to do when you see all those products that come up? You start looking at what makes each one of them different, don't you? Maybe price is making it different, maybe shipping is making it different, maybe color is making it different. So there is some type of differentiation here in the product. And in order to have that, we call this a USP or UVP. Sometimes you hear it interchange. A UVP or a USP. So a UVP is unique value proposition. A USP is unique selling proposition. You have to be unique and you have to be different in order to get someone to buy you, because when you're searching for something, you want to stand out. You want someone to have a reason to buy into you. So when we think about our keywords, right? We talked about keywords, I had it up here earlier. Your keywords should tie into what makes you unique. Why is your product so different? And you should own that keyword, own that piece. So if I make red sneakers out of alligator skin and I dye it red, that's my uniqueness. Well, then I make red sneakers out of alligator skin. I own that. No one else can come and try to take that from me, because that's mine. And it'll be mine as long as I can defend it, right? Okay, so a product has to be unique, has to be different. Place is normally what we call this the omnichannel experience. So omnichannel, again, is not just having multiple channels, Amazon, website, Professor Ken's store, but it's also having the same brand experience in all these channels. You have to have the same brand experience in all these channels. That's what omnichannel is. Then there's promotion. Promotion are things like social media, ads, Word of mouth. We call that WOM. Anybody know what a word of mouth promotion is right now? What's a word of mouth promotion right now? Like, what type of people do word of mouth promotions?
Influencers.
Exactly, influencers, your network. So that used to be a big thing. It used to be you tell two people, they tell two people, and so on and so on. Now influencers are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions in some cases. Who's our biggest influencer right now? Who has the most followers right now? Ronaldo, right? Number one. Number two is not Messi. Messi's number three. What's the singer? I can't think of her. What's her?
Taylor Swift?
Not Taylor Swift. She's like number 4 or 5. Yes, that's who it is. Selena Gomez, I think, is number 2. Yeah. Swift is up there, like 4 or 5. Messi's up there in the top 4 or 5 too. Like 400, 500 million, 300 million, something crazy like that. They get paid $1 million a post. $1 million one post. It's pretty good, right? Not bad for a day's pay. All right. So word of mouth marketing is that influence, promotions, social media, and then you have price. Now, price is interesting. It's probably very important because it's very sensitive. If you mess with price, if you're too high, you're not going to sell. If you're too low, you're not going to make enough profit. So price is very sensitive. So you have to think about price too. Now, all this is important when you think about advertising or promoting things online. Why? Why do we want to know our price when we're advertising something online? What would be the reason?
Sorry.
Who said?
What will be the what?
What's the reason why you need to know your price of your product that you're advertising for? What do you think?
To convert.
Yeah, you want to convert, but you also want to know if you're making any money, right? Profit. Well, we call that, there's something called ROAS, 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 return on ad spend, ROAS. So we want to, if we spend $1, bless you, if we spend $1, normally we want to get a 5x back from that, plus or minus 5x. 4 to 5x is a good return on that dollar. You don't average that. You probably average closer to 2x, 3x. You need to be at 3x to be profitable. So that means if we spend $1, we make at least $3 back, right? Minimum. Okay, that's return on ad spend. So that's why we need to know price. So let me share with you, we'll take a break after this here, but let me share with you 3 important components of price. There are what we call 3 C's of price. 3 C's of price. Who could think of the first C?
Cost.
Cost. Perfect. That makes a lot of sense, right? Cost. So cost is the first C. And sometimes you hear of that called COGS. COGS stands for COGS. It stands for cost of goods sold. So depending upon what you want to add in that COGS, you have to figure it out. So if you spend, let's say you spend $1 on something, what should you sell it for? What should be the retail price? What would you sell it for? If you spent $1, how much should you sell it for online?
It should be like
4, 3. Anybody else have anything different? 4, 3, at least 3, right? Minimum $3. Why? Because like I said, we're looking for getting that 3 to 4, 5x. $3 might not even be enough. We might be a little higher, but $3 will put some money in your pocket. All right, so cost, that's the first C. What do you think the second C is?
customer.
Customer is good. I'm going to make that the third, but there's one more before customer. Who else is out there selling product? The competition. Exactly right. So the competition is important in pricing. So why are these 3 C's important? Well, we know why cost is important, because in order for us to price the product, we have to know what we paid for it. The competition's out there. Just because you say that you want to sell this product for $3 doesn't mean that's a good price. There's a lot of factors that go into this, but to simplify it, if your competition's out there selling it for $2, is that good or bad? It could be bad, but it could be good depending upon how you position your product. Maybe you have the best product out there so you can sell for a little more money, right? So maybe you could get $3 for it. So you have to think about the competition. And then lastly, it doesn't matter how you price it or what you pay for it or what your competition says. If the customer doesn't think your product is worth that price, they're not going to pay for it. We have what we call, in our head, we have something called a reference price. I'll give you an example of this. How much would you pay for a hamburger, a good hamburger, or a decent hamburger? What would you pay for a hamburger and fries?
$15.
$15. Anybody else? 20. What do you think?
I said 15.
15 too. All right, 15, 20, maybe 25, right? If you go to South Beach, you're paying 25 minimum.
No.
No, you wouldn't pay? You go to a different place?
Shake.
You're right, I guess so. Yeah, back then they weren't Shake Shacks, but yeah, all right, so 20 at the, maybe 25. Okay, that's a reference price. Now, if you walked into a place and they had a hamburger on the menu for $100, what would your reaction be? That's crazy, right? All right, so imagine my surprise when I walked into a place and there was a $100 hamburger on this menu. Now, it would happen to be at the Boca Resort Club out in Palm Beach. It was an anniversary weekend, and we just went up there for the weekend, my wife and I, and they had a restaurant there, and I saw, as we walked in, I saw this $100 hamburger on the menu. So of course I said, I never had a $100 hamburger, and
Is it Wagyu beef?
well, now you see, now you're right, exactly. You're right, so now you're exactly right. It's like, it was like three kinds of, it was Wagyu and hand grass-fed and all kinds of a blend and stuff like that. Yeah, some gold flakes on top, exactly. So it was, so they, you know, obviously for $100, they got to make it worth the while. But still, it was a $100 hamburger. So, all right, I said, well, we'll treat ourselves. My wife said, oh, go ahead, it's our anniversary. Yeah, well, so we're there in shorts and a t-shirt, right? We're just hanging out for one night. So we go in, and the guy says, no, you can't come in here. You got to put pants on, and you know, in order you can't eat. So I went upstairs. I always carry a pair of slacks with me and jeans, whatever. So I put, and then I went back downstairs. He goes, you know, but you need a collared shirt too. So I didn't have a collared shirt. So I'm like, damn. I said, all right. He said, I'll tell you what. Since it's your anniversary, I explained the whole story. You can sit at the bar, right? And I said, I'm not sitting at the bar to eat a $100 hamburger. That's just crazy. So I still didn't eat a $100 hamburger to this day. But my point is that if something is so extraordinary, under extraordinary circumstances, maybe you'll do it. Like the Super Bowl this weekend. Did you hear some of those stories about what those people paid for those tickets?
Yes.
$13,000 to watch the 49ers lose? I mean, if you were a 49ers fan, you paid $13,000 to see them lose, I don't know if I could wake up the next morning. It would just be, not because they lost, but because I just blew $13,000.
No, people have that kind of money nowadays.
Well,
Go to those games.
that's true. I mean, if you're up there and you got the money, you could do it. But then I saw what I saw, and that's true. But what I saw were average individuals like us who like said this is a lifelong, because the 49ers haven't won the championship in 30 years or whatever it was. You know, so they spent their kids' college funds on going to the game or something. I have no idea. But imagine what that is. So you have to, everything's relative. And that takes us to the positioning of things, where you can sell a $100 hamburger online, let's say. It could be frozen, of course. But you can sell a $100 hamburger if you make it valuable enough for someone to buy it. There has to be a reason, like you pointed out. It has to be a reason to buy that, right? Because we can all buy, you know, $15 sneakers, or we could buy $200 Michael Jordan sneakers, whatever it is, right? I'm exaggerating. I don't even know if you could buy a pair of $15 sneakers anymore. I don't really wear sneakers that much anymore. Can you buy $15 sneakers anymore?
Sure
you can?
Yes, in Ross.
And they probably do this. They probably do the same thing as the $200 pair, right? More or less. They probably do. They probably walk you from one spot to the other.
It'll last a long time.
Maybe last longer too. I know. So it's all relative, but it's up to us as the marketers now to put that in front of the buyer to be able to buy that type of stuff, okay? So that's the marketing mix. This is gonna be very relevant for us when we start thinking about creating ads and things of that nature, okay? So we will be working on our project. We're gonna talk about that here in a little bit, where we'll have to pick a product or a service to start marketing. That's gonna be our project, our goal. So I want us to start thinking about that, meaning you should have a company in mind that you want to maybe create some ads for, or a friend or family or a product. And if you don't, we could make a faux company, that's okay. And I can also give you some companies too. So I'll provide some of that. I'll give you a list as well, all right? So here's where I want us to think about. When I always start thinking about putting together some type of promotion, some type of ad, I start with the first question, and the first question I always think about is what, right? And there's going to be a series of questions here. Oh, I don't like the way they came out. I'll do it that way. The what. All right, so what does that mean, what? Well, what is my product or my service? What makes us different, right? What is it that I'm trying to sell? You need to have those answers. You need to know what you're trying to sell and what is your product. You really need to have it defined. That's why we talk about that unique selling proposition, that unique value proposition. This is where that definition comes into play. What is it that you do? What is it that makes you different than everybody else, okay? The next thing you should know here is, I don't want to do that way. I don't know why my question mark is looking bad today, but okay, now it's a little better, right? All right. The next thing you want to know is why. Now, because you know you have a different product, that's great. But why does it exist? Why would someone buy it? Why is your product better than someone else's? So you need to have those explanations in your head. You have to have these answers already before you start creating any type of ad or any type of promotion. You need to know the why. What do you think the next question would be? It's another W. The next logical, I like where, but hold on to that thought. Give me a different one that's better than where.
When who?
Better than when, it's who, right? The who. So who? Why is the who important?
Who's gonna buy it?
Who's gonna buy it? Who is your target audience? Exactly right. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter why you say the product is so different. But if you don't know your target audience, you're not going to be able to sell the product successfully.
Yeah, we need to know where they are.
Well, that comes next. You need to know who they are first. You can always find out where they are. That's the next W I'll put there, is where, all right? And the final one is when, and then there's one more question, and that's how, right? So what are those questions? Those are basic elementary type questions that we did for school reports, book reports, if you remember. It still applies today when we think about our marketing. What is my product? What is the difference? Why will someone buy it? Who is going to buy it? Where will they buy it, right? Where will I sell it? When will they buy it? When will I sell it? And how will I get the product to them? How will I be able to deliver that service or that product to them? So you have to have all these answers in your head. Now, I want to focus a little bit here on the who. The who is also known as our target audience. Now we can call that persona. Anybody know that word persona? Buyer persona, right? P-E-R-S-O-N. So what is the persona? The persona is a representative of the group of liked individuals that will buy your product. So it's not one individual. It's actually a group of liked individuals that have similar interest. Like in this case, I would have a group of digital marketing students. That would be everyone here in the room. Okay, but then I would be able to say maybe there's a group of digital marketing students that are male, group of digital marketing students that are female. So now I start breaking that down into what we call segments, right? So now it's getting down into a little further detail, and that's going to be important for us to know as we start promoting our product. Now I want to try an exercise. I need a volunteer. Who wants to come up and volunteer? Anybody want to volunteer?
I can do it.
Okay, come on. Come on, Madhu, come on up. You can volunteer. Come on up. Stand on this side for me, please. Right here. Face this board. Not too far away. All right? I want everyone to pay attention. It's Abdul, right? All right. Abdul, here's your instructions. Pretty simple. I want you can step a step closer. You probably need to step closer. Throw that ball up against the wall and catch it. Everybody watch what he does. Do it 3 times. Go ahead.
I catch it?
Yeah, you got to catch it 3 times. 1.
Should I?
You should catch it. Try to catch it. Do it 3 times. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Stop. You can turn around now. All right. Wait, stay here. We're not done. That's only the first part. How did he do?
Good.
He did good? He did good? Anybody else? Good?
Pretty good.
How do you know he did good?
Because he catch it.
Because he caught it. And is that what you were measuring on? Basically him catching it? All right. We really don't know how he did because we have no idea what he was trying to. What were you trying to hit? What were you trying to do?
Yeah,
Just catch it.
You're just trying to catch it. That was it. That was a simple
I
goal.
try not to move as well.
You try not to move as well. All right, now let's do something a little different. Now if I do this for you, right?
Oh god. Oh, that's more harder again.
More harder? You think so? Now try that. Now do the same thing, stay in the same place. Now we'll watch him again, see how he does. Go ahead.
Okay.
1, 2, up, it's all right.
Can I move?
Yeah, of course, it's your ball. You can. Oh, and now he's throwing the overhand. He's really into it. All right, 3 times. How did he do that time? How did you think you did that time?
Well, yeah, 1/3.
1/3. So now you have a measure of how he did, right? Why do you know what you did? Because you had a target here, right?
Yeah.
All right, not bad. Okay, good. You're good.
That's great, yeah.
I don't think the Marlins are going to hire you to play third base anytime soon, but you did a good job. Thank you very much. All right, so here's the point of that exercise. What changed in not only his demeanor, but his attitude? Did you see his attitude change once I put this target up? He got a little more confident in what he can do, and he even threw the ball overhand, right? So when you put up a target, what can change for you? Everything, because now you know what you want to hit. So imagine being out there, and there are plenty of companies that are out there. They just take this and they just throw the ball up, and they throw the ball up, and they say, okay, eventually we'll hit the target or we'll sell something. They do get lucky. Every once in a while someone walk by, boom, they hit him in the head or something like that. So you will get lucky. But if you don't plan out who your target is, then you're not going to be successful. So you have to have a target. You have to have a focus. That's where that who comes into play. So if you're selling red sneakers, as an example, who can you sell red sneakers out to? You could sell them to men or women. You could sell them for fashion or for sport, right? So you have to understand the what, the why, and the who, and then you could figure out all this other stuff. All right, let me show you one other thing now. When we talk about segments, I'm going to erase this, okay? All right, we'll take this down. So let's say I'm going to try to build a square here. Not a perfect square, but that's not bad, right? That's the best I could do. All right, but now I'm going to do a few more squares. Hold on. Okay. Now I'm going to do a few more squares. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop there. How many squares are up on that board? 16. Is that right? Yeah. 16. Anybody have a different guess? How many squares are up there? 17. Anybody have a different guess? Who wants to take a different guess? 1. That's a good guess, put down. I'll put that up there. 1.
Yeah, 16 plus
16
the big one.
plus the big one. All right, so let's think.
22.
22. Okay, we're getting higher now, right? All right. Anybody have a different guess?
I'm getting easy.
Different? All right. Let's count this out. Let's see what it says. So, obviously, we see the big square. That's 1. Then we have all these individual squares, right? So that's 16. So that's 17, right? 1 plus 16 is 17 so far. What about this? Is that a square?
Yeah, 4.
That's 4 more. Okay, perfect. What about this? Is this a square?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 more.
4 more, right? Okay. What about this? Is this a square? And what about this? Is that a square? What about this? Is that a square? And what about that? Is that a square? That's 4 more, right? Okay. What about the center? Is that a square? Another one. Anything else I miss? All right. So far we're up to 17, 21, 25, 29, we're up to 30. 30 so far. Okay. I think there's one more that I missed, but all right. But here's my point here. So let's say that square represented your target market, your total target market. Everybody that's going to buy your product is in this square. Now, you could break up that group 30 different ways because maybe there's someone that's over here, that's over here. So you see how you can segment it. That's called segmentation. That's how we segment our target market. What are they running out there playing basketball?
Like a little.
Oh, trolley? All right. So that's called segmentation. So we have to drill down to a small segmentation. Why? Because we want to get to the persona that's going to work for us. So here's how we would do that. If we know, let's say we have a Professor Ken's bake shop. Okay, Professor Ken's bake shop, and I have to have, what do I have to have first in order to really begin? What's the first thing I need to have? At Professor Ken's bake shop, I need to make something, right? And it needs to be unique, something different. So I happen to have a unique recipe for a pineapple coconut cupcake. It's like pineapple coconut filling inside, really unique, tropical flavors, right? 80% of my house is Dominican. My wife's Dominican, my kids are Dominican, so I like tropical flavors.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right? I know, it's a big mix. Dominican, Japanese, and Italian. All right, so I make that tropical coconut cupcake really unique at Professor Ken's cupcake shop. But now, people will drive X amount of miles to my shop. They're not going to drive forever. Maybe within 30 miles, they'll drive to my shop. Okay, anyone go to that fireman's cupcake place somewhere around here? I think it's in here, right? Fireman, what is it?
Fireman Derek?
Yeah, Fireman Derek, right? Is it here or near Woodenwood or something like that? But that people drive. We live in Broward. We drive down occasionally to go to get those cupcakes that he makes, right? Okay, so you're gonna drive. Maybe you drive 30 miles. So I am in Miami. So I am going to market my product to anybody who buys cupcakes within 30 miles of my store, right? Make sense? Everybody agree with that? I'm going to target everyone who buys cupcakes within 30 miles of my store. Why? Because they're probably not going to drive from Palm Beach down to buy my cupcake. So let's say that's a total of 500,000 people from population point of view. Now, can I break that down a little further? I can. To what?
Adults are.
Well, adults are going to be buying it, but now if I think adults, I could do mostly women. By the way, women make up 85% of all the purchases online. So guys, you just don't matter, really. I mean, it doesn't matter. Women buy everything, and when they don't buy, they influence everything else. Okay, so that's the truth. All right, so let's say it's a woman, okay, and then maybe you have women mostly with kids. I would say, right? If they're going to be buying cupcakes, wouldn't you say? Women with kids, okay. Now, can you break that down a little bit? Let's say out of that 500,000, there's 200,000 there. Maybe it's women with kids that are high school plus kids, and maybe women with kids that are elementary school, okay?
And income, I think it's most important.
We can use income too. So maybe we want to do income over here. So we call that HHI, which is household income. So maybe 60K plus or 100K plus, whatever the income is we pick. So now we're drilling that down a little further. So eventually we get to these smaller segmented boxes.
So the narrowest is the best, or?
The narrowest is the best, yes. Do you ever hear that expression? The riches are in the niches. That means that if we focus in on that small target, we would be more successful. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have 1 million people that follow you that spend no money with you, or 1,000 people that follow you that spend $1,000 a year with you? Exactly right. Why? Because they're like this. They're tight with you, right? They're real. So these Kim Kardashian followers, you know, yeah, I'm sure because she has so many that some people will make sales from it, but not everybody, not all the products she promotes is gonna work for everybody in her chain, right? So you want to be down here. Now when we create ads, we also want to target down to our markets as well. We're doing our market by geography, and we're doing our market by behavior and by demographics. That's the key. So you'll see that when we start drilling down. But we want to get down as far as we can, because that's going to help us get more bang for our buck. That's the key there, all right?
Well, another point of view is, so when we narrow down, so it will be, so we're going to end up like a very, very small group of people.
Yes, but then that's a great point. But now let's say your shop is 30 miles. You geo-target anyone within 30 miles, right? But you say, you know what, I want more people, so let's make this 60 miles. What is the reality that someone's going to drive 60 miles to your shop? Not good. Probably not good, right? Now, if you're paying $1 every time someone clicks on that ad, and that ad ends up you end up spending another $500 on that ad because 500 people who are 45 miles away clicked on it, is that going to be helpful to you or not?
No, but if I like the 60K, if I decrease it to 50, maybe I get more people.
You could, and that's a good rationale. So here's the thing about that, Abdul. There's no right or wrong here. There's no right or wrong. How do you know if it's working? Yeah, you get this thing, right? That's what happens. That's how you know your marketing is working, because you're converting and you're getting money. You're getting paid. The key thing is that if it's not working, don't spend that much money on it anymore. You have to learn. And we call that, and I call that the process in marketing. It's sort of like 4 segments of marketing. The first one is a plan. Then you have to have a strategy. And we'll cover this a little more. Then you have to execute, right? And then you have to measure. So we're going to be measuring whether or not that ad was successful. So plan, strategy, execute, and measure. Plan, strategy, execute, and measure. Plan, strategy, execute, and measure. We're going to keep doing that until we find the right formula, the right combination of what this mix is. And hopefully when we do it, we don't spend all of our marketing budget in one area. That's the key. I'll give you a crazy example, and then we'll do a little exercise. Just as COVID was hitting, I had a good friend of mine. I actually took my MBA with him. We give each other business over the years. He says, "Ken, I have someone I worked with. They own a place up in Pompano, and their business is shut down. It was a warehouse that sold sinks and tubs and stuff for bathrooms, right? So when COVID shut down, no one was going into the warehouse to buy. So he had a website, but he wasn't doing anything online. He said, I want to start advertising and promoting things online. I said, great. I met with the guy, met with him once, met with him twice. He says, I want to hire you. I said, okay, good. Let's get to work. He says, but we need to generate at least $20,000 worth of sales in the first month. I said, well, that's not possible. I said, that, you know, you're asking me to do something. He said, well, I thought you were good at this. I said, I am good, but there's no magic, right? I can't guarantee. He goes, well, I met someone that can promise me that. I said, well, then go with them, because you're gonna get a broken promise. It can happen. It's possible, but not unlikely, right? So you have to plan first, strategize, execute, and measure, and do it over and over again until you find the proper formula. And that's going to be the key. So if you had $100 to spend, you don't spend $100 on one ad. You probably spend $20 on one ad, maybe 20 on the second ad, and now you have 60 left to come back and spend it on the ad that performed the best, right? Because you have a better chance of success. There's no magic here. There's the science and the art of measurement. That's the key. All right. All right. Any questions for me on this concept?
Yeah. What is the difference between segments and cohort? Is it similar?
It's similar, but a cohort is a group. It will still be a group. And a segment is just a different definition of a group, but it's more liked interest. So you're taking, a cohort could be all kinds of different levels, right? So it could be a cohort of people who like digital marketing. It could be a segment of people who like digital marketing, but then you want to get it down to a little finite level, a lower level. The lower you can get to, you get to that persona level, is where you start defining who that person is. And we'll do an exercise of personas too. But I think it's similar definitions. Just like, anybody heard of the term tribe? Your tribe, market to your tribe, market to your persona, market to your demographic. Yeah. It's all the same, but you know, I guess millennials and Gen Zers changed it up. They want different words for different things. I don't know. You're laughing. It's true though, right? They always come up with new words for different things.
And different names for the same thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know.